choose you!
U.S. Patent Office. Use common sense. Ooh, it's super effective. What's up, space pirates? This is your Admiral, the boundlessly boisterous Dr. Disaster, and the lawsuit that Nintendo has against Palworld has been bullshit from the very start.
Oh no! They're on to me!
Palworld is an obvious parody of Pokemon and is one of the most successful, smaller studio games to have come out in the past few years. The real reason that Nintendo despises this game is because it makes them look like shit. The recent release of Pokemon Legends ZA made this apparent. After seeing the quality of development put into Palworld, gamers looked at all the stuff from this newest Pokemon game and said,
Crap, mega crap.
The thing that really hurt Nintendo here is the fact that Palworld was sold for a measly $30, whereas they're asking $70 for Pokemon ZA. Having someone like Palworld sitting around makes it apparent what little effort is put into the Pokemon games, which is astonishing since Nintendo generally does such a consistently great job with other games like Mario, Zelda, Donkey Kong, Kirby, etc. But for whatever reason, they don't seem to put the same kind of care into Pokemon.
Don't get cheap on me.
Well, that brings us to this news here. We have been covering how the lawsuit that Nintendo has been pursuing against Palworld, trying to get the game shut down. We've been covering how it has been gradually unraveling, and now it looks like the Trump administration may have swooped in and saved Palworld from the Nintendo Corporation. As Grums points out in this post on X, the recently appointed Trump head of patents has ordered a re-examination of a Nintendo patent due to public outrage. It looks like they might lose their patent on pet battles in games, which never should have been granted in the first place, for reasons we will discuss in a minute here. But suffice to say, it sounds like someone is interested in making gaming great again.
Groovy.
Alright, me hearties, make sure that you hit the like button on this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I've had a lot of people tell me that they have been unwillingly unsubscribed to the channel, so make sure you look into that, and also, don't forget to follow me over on X, where my handle is Dr. Disaster1, and if you want to help keep the lights on, consider becoming a member of the channel for as little as $5 per month. Anyhow, let's talk about what's happening with Palworld and Nintendo. Just as a refresher, you may recall that about a week ago, we discussed the fact that Nintendo looks like it is losing its patent on the ball capture mechanic that they are using to try to take down Palworld, which significantly weakens their suit against Palworld. The Japanese Patent Office decided that the ball capture mechanic wasn't a unique enough mechanic to give Nintendo a patent on it. And now the news is that the United States Patent Office is saying that the patent for the pet battle mechanic should not have been granted either. Basically, this amounts to a patent for any time a character summons someone else to fight for you. This would, in theory, prevent games like World of Warcraft, where you summon beasts to fight against your enemies. It would prevent them from operating that way, and hell, in theory, it could even be used to prevent Magic the Gathering's digital games from summoning their monsters to fight against the other player. And keep in mind that Magic the Gathering is a major major competitor of Pokemon in the trading card world. So, if Nintendo were really serious about this patent and protecting what they truly believe is theirs, then they would certainly be using this patent against competition like Magic the Gathering or the Digimon games. But no, they don't want to go after Magic in this way because Magic the Gathering actually predates Pokemon by a few years, having come out in 1993. So, going after them would weaken Pokemon's case. Instead, they are specifically targeting Pocket Pair, the makers of Palworld, and not even because I believe they think they can win. I think their goal is to essentially besiege Pocket Pair and starve the much smaller studio out using lawfare. But let's read this article from IGN where they talk about this news that the Trump administration is listening to gamers and doing something about what appears to be a clear injustice. The article says here, the director of the United States Patent and Trademark Office has ordered a re-examination of Nintendo's controversial Summon Character and Let It Fight Pokemon patent after it was heavily criticized by IP lawyers. In September, IP lawyers criticized the U.S. patent system and the U.S. Patent Office after Nintendo was awarded a Pokemon patent that revolves around summoning a character and letting it fight. Games Fray reported that this patent, dubbed the 397 patent, was granted by the Patent Office without any objection to Nintendo, which is embroiled in ongoing litigation with Pocket Pair's Palworld. While the patent sums up how Pokemon games work and that you summon Pokemon to battle other Pokemon in the hope of adding them to your collection, there are countless other games that use similar mechanics, such as Persona, Digimon, and even Elden Ring, depending upon how the patent is interpreted. At the time, IP expert Florian Mueller took to social media to say Nintendo should never have received a Summon Character and Let It Fight patent in the first place, while video game patent lawyer Kirk Sigmund told PC Gamer these claims were in no way allowable. Now, Games Fray has reported that Donald Trump nominee John A. Squires, who only became director of the U.S. Patent Office in September, has personally ordered a re-examination after he determined that substantial new questions of patentability have arisen to certain claims made by the patent. Here's Squires' description of the claims in question. The 397 patent issued with claims drawn to controlling the movement of a player character in a field of a virtual space, causing a sub-character to appear in the field, controlling a battle in a manual mode when an enemy character is present in the location the sub-character has appeared, and when an enemy character is not present in the location the sub-character has appeared, automatically moving the sub-character and controlling a battle in an automatic mode when an enemy character is placed at a designated location. And you want to know what that sounds an awful lot like? It sounds like the summoning system that Final Fantasy uses in their games. Forgive me if you've heard me say this before, but for anyone who has not watched my videos on this subject, the summoning that they do in Final Fantasy games is pretty similar to what Nintendo is describing in their patent. But Final Fantasy actually came out with this idea all the way back in 1990, first appearing in Final Fantasy III. That is the earliest I have been able to track down the idea of summoning characters to fight for you in a video game, but there might be earlier examples. Anyhow, Pokemon did not release until 1996, so Square Enix, in my view, if anyone were going to be allowed to patent such a game mechanic, it should be them. And in truth, the idea is so ubiquitous by now that it should not be patented at all. But reading on, the article then tells us, in his order, Squires pointed to two older U.S. patent applications, one filed by Konami in 2002, the other by Nintendo itself in 2019, as prior art references. Both, Squires said, would be important in deciding whether the claims are patentable, and each raises a substantial new question of patentability. Mueller writing for GamesFray, said Squires' order was down to the public outrage at the award of the patent and concerns about the reputation of the U.S. patent system as a whole. While this re-examination isn't a revocation order, Mueller insisted it is now highly likely that the U.S. Patent Office will revoke Nintendo's 397 patent. Nintendo has 2 months to respond. So there you have it. This patent being removed from Nintendo would devastate their case against Palworld. It legitimately looks like the Trump administration, or at least one small corner of it, is listening to the outcries from gamers and deciding it's a good idea to try to make gaming great again. But what do you make of this scenario? Is this what you voted for? Drop your thoughts into the comment section below, and we will talk there. Thanks for watching, me hearties. If you haven't already, your Admiral is inviting you to subscribe to the channel and become a part of the crew. Life as a space pirate may not be glamorous, but there's always plenty of booty.